Good evening. Happy Saturday evening. Welcome back to another stream. I will not be on too late tonight. Didn't really have this scheduled, but I switched the machines. I switched desktops. This is the one with Linux Mint Mate, so I figure I better do some updates to this one. And if anybody happens to be stopping by the stream, please say hello. Okay, that looks good there. And that is a very nice photo. It's not mine. This is a photo someone posted on Facebook, and this is Italy. This is the Amalfi Coast. How would you like to wake up to breakfast there with your favorite Linux machine? Oh, Tim, how are you? Now, Tim, don't make me call Uncle Guido in Sicily if you're not taking care of your cold or whatever you have. You better take care of yourself, brother. How are you? How are you feeling? Hello, Robert. How are you? Welcome. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, so as I was saying, this is the Linux Mint Mate desktop. This is the gateway. Hello, Interceptor. I hadn't updated this one up in a while. I've been lucky. These machines I have are super reliable, but God, they're painfully slow when rendering videos. I mean, they're like dinosaurs. I rendered some of last night's video. We had a very nice discussion on the so-called Linux spyware in quotations about Ubuntu. So that was over 3 hours, not just that topic, of course, but I did some editing, and this one here, this Linux Spyware Live, which I will update tonight, 37 minutes of video to render. Took me like over an hour. And that's one of the drawbacks of not having updated equipment in the office, but I just can't do it now. But anyway, so I'm making sure this works. And yeah, I did the updates reboot. Looks like I may have to do some other updates here. I see the X there, but I won't do that now. But obviously Mate is my favorite desktop environment. So Tim, you're under the weather a bit, but yet it could always be worse for sure. Yes, absolutely. Hi Stephen, how are you? Anyway, isn't that a beautiful photo? That is so, I can't think of anything better than being there with your loved one or partner, and just enjoying what God has to offer. Isn't that beautiful? It's so, it's the little things in life that matter, and ain't that the truth? That's my opinion, of course. I wasn't born in Italy. I was born in New York. My parents were born in Calabria. But look at that blue water. It's like somebody went to Sherwin-Williams and just took a paintbrush and painted that water. Isn't that stunning? Anyway, I don't want to get sentimental, but yeah. Steve Winkler, how are you? Welcome. Tim, if you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, it is a nice picture. Awesome picture going to Monaco. Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Hi, Merry Melodies fan. Yeah, my dad was thinking about sending the movie, his project, over to a film festival in Switzerland. Shoot you over a link? Okay. What kernel are you using on Linux Mint? Honestly, right now I don't know. Give me a second, Tim. I'll send you a link. Hi, Daniel. You like the picture? Yeah, it's absolutely. I don't know. I don't know who took the picture. Just one of those random pictures somebody posts on Facebook, and I mean, there's so many of them. that, you know, as unprivate as Facebook is, the one nice thing is, you know, pictures like this that give you a nice warm fuzzy feeling. But yeah, it's a super nice picture. Okay, Tim, give me a second here. Let me do this. And the color is, I guess the color is, I'm wearing a purple shirt. Oh well, I guess I'm not too orange. Good enough. All right, give me a second here, Tim, and I'll send you the link, okay? I'll try to reach my dad tomorrow, Tim, and let you know what's going on. So, okay, let's go. What do I need to do? Go to Gmail. Duh. Yeah, this is a gateway. 4 years old, 5 years old. Like I said, it's outdated for what I do, but it's reliable. So, you know. Lots of energy in the little package. Oh, the dog. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. All right, Gmail. Let's see. Which one am I going to send it to? You have 2 emails, don't you, Tim? Let's see here. I guess I'll do this one. All right, Tim, link is coming to you now, okay? Pardon me. I should be on its way, Tim. Anyway. But yeah, I'm in Linux Mint Mate, of course. Linux Mint, one of the best for newbies or advanced users. Everything works out of the box. I've been using Mint, well, 10 years, since 2008, off and on. And again, I like the Mate. I also like the XFCE. I have a Linux Mint XFCE installed in my other ThinkPad. That one has 2 gigs of RAM, and it's zippy. I like it a lot. You know, I mean, that's the beauty of Linux. You have choices for older machines and newer machines. Again, it's all a matter of picking the right quality distribution, knowing how to install it, running the updates, and getting used to it. But you know, I will say this: Windows users who have never tried Linux, they're missing out, big time. So if you are a Windows user watching this, you are missing out if you've never tried Linux. Don't believe what people say that Linux sucks. Some Linux sucks, but not the whole thing. No way, Jose. Anyway. All right, camera looks good. Let me go back to the chat. Hello, Chuck. Yeah, the gateway, this one, believe it or not, Merry Melodies, I bought this refurbished for less than $300. Really. Now this is, take my advice. If you're going to start a YouTube channel and do it as many videos as I did, try to spend $1,000 or close to it. Get the right, this is not the right computer for video rendering because it takes forever. But for less than $300, I couldn't resist. I bought it, and it's been super reliable for both Windows and Linux. I had a feeling it would be, but for YouTube rendering videos and it's not. It takes, like I said, there's that video I will upload tonight or tomorrow. 37-minute video from last night took over an hour. It's painfully slow, but is it reliable? Yeah, it is. So Merry Melodies fan, yeah, it works great. So, you know. Steve says, Toss, you took your son to an anime convention. In Illinois. A big convention. They have a restaurant being built called Carmine. It's Carmine's specialty. Hey, Kamenuch. Nice. Nice. Hello, OLMX16. Okay. How's your night, Gael? Ellis Sabado. I'm doing fine, thank you, Gael. I'm right because you was a Windows, now you're full-time Linux. Awesome. You know, I'll tell you a funny story about my name. It is spelled Carmine, like that car is mine. When I lived in Florida, UPS man knocked at the door, and this is what he said. The UPS guy knocks at my door and says, "Package for Carmini." Really? Carmine, like that car is mine. Carmini, I'll never mind. I'll never forget it. So, say hello to me, Carmini. Hi, Tim.
How are you doing, Toss?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, my friend.
Is my I'm even less of a voice today, so is my audio okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. You're low, but it's super clear. Yeah.
Okay. If anybody's having problems, let me know in chat, and I'll bring it up the stair.
Okay, cool. Did you sleep okay at least, or?
Slept okay. But I had a really good cough all night, so every time I coughed, it woke me up. But you know what? I did sleep, so.
That's the main thing. I drink lots of fluids. How is your temperature?
I think the last time I took it, it was just a hair over 100.
Watch that. It's dropping. If it jumps, don't mess with it. You go straight to the emergency room because that can be a major problem. Here in Ohio, well, in Steubenville, if I need a second opinion, I'll go straight to the Cleveland Clinic. Don't waste my time. I will get an answer there. There's a local friend. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How far away is Steubenville from
Cleveland Clinic? It's about 2.5, 3 hours each way, depending on traffic. 100 and some miles. This traffic once you get on the toll road and all that.
Yeah, sure.
It's a bit of a drive, but you may have heard it's one of the best facilities on the planet.
Yep.
It saved one of my friend's life. He's retired from the car business. I hadn't seen him for a while. I don't mean to ignore the chat, by the way, but let me do this so I can see it. Anyway, I hadn't seen him for a while, and howdy, Frost. Steve Gunnick, hi. Sneaky Linux, hi. Hadn't seen him for a while, so one day I bumped into him. I said, "John, how you been?" "I'm doing good. I almost died." What? He wasn't feeling good.
Okay.
I went to the doctors here. They told him, "Well, just do this, do that, try this." They couldn't really, and he still wasn't feeling right. So he decided to go to the Cleveland Clinic. He goes there for a checkup, and this is coming out of his mouth what he told me. He went to the Cleveland Clinic. They said, "John, the test reports are back. You have this with your heart blockage. If you don't have surgery now, you will die." How's that for a diagnosis?
Yep.
So he did what he had to do, and thank God years later he's fine. I bumped up to him last month at Walmart. He seems, for his age, he's older than me a little bit, older than us, but still sprightly and hello and this and that. It saved his life. We don't have the facilities here, and it's a shame, like they do with the Cleveland Clinic. So if I'm not sure, or I tell my friend, I'm telling you, or whatever. If you're not sure, it's not the local facility's fault, especially here, because they just don't have it. They don't have the technology and the equipment and the training. It's not their fault. Just go straight to the clinic.
Yep.
Anyway.
That's one of the things my wife and I have where we're going to be is it's not the greatest healthcare because we're not in the Twin Cities metro area.
Right.
But we can be there within, a matter of a very short time. And the only other real claim to medical fame that we have here in Minnesota is the Mayo in Rochester, Minnesota.
That's good too. That's good too. Yeah, the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, another good one. A few more I can't think.
In fact, one friend of our family, she developed desert fever like 10 years ago. It's a fungal infection. She got it when she was there in Arizona.
Okay.
It's a lung deal. But she went through doctor after doctor after doctor. Mm-hmm. And finally, I think it was kind of a change in her health insurance. They got her into the Mayo system, and the Mayo is actually who finally diagnosed it. And she does a majority of her health care now through the Mayo. So
okay. Yeah, it's the facility, the Cleveland Clinic. What's nice about them, if you can't afford it and you need help, they'll take care of it. Just don't worry about it. When I the last time I needed a second opinion for I got this pimple inside my eyelid, what looks like a dark pimple. I couldn't get a straight answer here, so I went to the clinic, and they said how much you got to pay for your like deductible. I think it's 70, so I gave them $70. I don't know. Less than a month later, I get a letter with a check. Sir, you paid too much. Here's a refund for $35. You're paying me to go to see you for healthcare. How's nice?
Doesn't happen very often.
No. But apparently, I overpaid. My deductible was 35 and not 70. I must have read it. Anyway, they're paying me. Now, how's that for a wonderful healthcare facility? I wish the whole system was that way, you know. But hi Ben, you want to join? All right, give me a second. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. So I took my son out to dinner. I don't know what I did, but anyway, yeah. If you're not sure, go to the facility that you're close to. That's well respected, and they will give you. Now, it was funny that time I went. It was my fault. I actually went to the wrong doctor, the wrong eye doctor. And the nurse says, you know what, this is just for like a checkup for glasses or contact. I needed a specialist. But they knew how far I drove. Hold on, we'll get someone. I had to wait about 35 minutes, 40 minutes. But the right doctor came along to take care of me. Now, how nice is that? But because that facility is so respected, so big, if that specific doctor doesn't have the answer, they'll find someone with the answer. Now, it's a bit of a drive, 2.5, 3 hours each way. But what they tell you, you can take that to the bank is what it is.
Yep.
In terms of diagnosis, prescription. One of my cousin's sister, she had trouble walking. She went to multiple doctors here. They gave her pills for her knees, arthritis, and this. She got worse, evidently. Her brother got ticked off. What are you doing? Just go to the clinic. Apparently, the story goes she went to the clinic. She took her pills with her, and the doctor says, "What's with these pills? This isn't for." I guess the doctor started throwing these pills. This isn't for what you need. They did a blood test, and the problem was in the blood. It wasn't in her joints. They were giving her the wrong medicine. It was slowly killing her, evidently. God. Anyway, yeah. When you're not sure, get a second opinion But go to a good facility. You know, we do have good medical facilities here if you look for them, in spite of our atrocious healthcare system. Anyway, Ben, hang on, I'll send you the link. But tonight, yeah, I just this is the other gateway machine. This is running Linux Mint Mod. I want to make sure it's okay, and it is. Did the updates. It's a bit outdated, but you know what? It's super reliable for Linux. It's slow for what I need it for, but it works. So I deal with it. Give me a second, Ben. I'll send you a link.
What are the specs on that machine, Toss?
Dual core AMD 5200 integrated graphics, 4 gig of RAM. It's not much. Yeah, I mean, it's not the right machine for what I do, but it was a good deal refurbished for less than $300 for a name brand. I couldn't pass it up. Sure. But for what I do, that's what I was advising other YouTube wannabes. If you're gonna go cheap on them, don't go cheap on the machine, because to render videos, this takes forever. A 37-minute video I edited from last night took over an hour. But they're reliable. But you know, I can't upgrade the Office now because of what I'm going through, and you know what I'm going through. But it's super reliable, so I'm not complaining. Ben, hang on a second. But yeah, I had this one just sitting on the carpet next to my TV. So, you know, sometimes I'll watch movies on it on my big screen. But I thought, you know, it's time to do the updates. You know, take it out of the cobwebs. I used the air blower to get at all the dust. You know, clean it out, make sure there's no dead spiders in there. You know, all the usual stuff. Tim.
Now, did you use the can, or did you use the new leaf blower?
Take a guess.
The new leaf blower.
I used the 454 4-barrel carburetor, twin turbos. Now, obviously, I didn't stick the nozzle straight on the computer. I don't want to blow the motherboard across the street. But I took it, from here. The computer's like here, and blew it. Obviously, when you have some of that power, you don't have to sit there for 5. And I was done.
Yeah.
Why not? It works. So I did this, and onto the Lenovo, got that clean.
That's what we call working smart.
Well, I bought the freaking machine. The blower, Black & Decker. Black & Decker, I'll give you my endorsement. I still have a 7-year-old cordless lawnmower, Black & Decker still works. Now the batteries are kind of weak, but Black & Decker is awesome, at least for me. So there you go.
I've owned just about every brand of cordless power drills that there is.
Okay.
And there's 2 that I've fallen in love with. If you need to do something that's really super labor intensive, more contractor grade,
yes,
Makitas are really good. But the general around the house stuff,
Black & Decker's awesome.
Black & Decker stuff, it never breaks.
They are priced right,
and the guarantee on them is pretty good too.
Yeah, the Black & Decker blower is like 2 years, something like that. Now, when I showed it to my son, well, Dad, that's only rated at something volume per air 3,200 or something. I don't know. He was working for the city last year when he got done with school. So he might do it this year, and he was trying to tell him, well, it's okay. Of course, for the city, they use a big gas-powered one, Hi, Ben.
Hi, Toss. Hi.
Hi. But anyway, yeah. For what I needed for cleaning out the machine, my desk, the garage, the car. This past Monday, I got up early. I had to take my friend to the airport. I opened up all the doors of my car and used my leaf blower. Just blow out dust. Now, obviously, if you got stains or something in the car, dirt, that ain't gonna work.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a tip for you guys with multiple computers. Use a leaf blower. Again, be careful. Don't stick it right on the machine. You might. I mean, the force may crack the motherboard.
Remember that scene from Caddyshack? The scene from Caddyshack when Chevy Chase is out practicing, I think, kind of his mid-long game, and he knocks the ball and it breaks the window and it goes into Bill Murray or Carl the Greenkeeper's garage.
Yeah.
They stand there and they talk and do some other stuff, and then Bill Murray says, "Well, I'm gonna clean up here a little bit." He grabs the gas powered, 12 horsepower leaf blower, starts it, puts it on, and then blows the house out.
I'm thinking of I'm thinking of that show Home Improvement with Tim Allen, where he would take like a lawnmower and put a car engine. He would have the manly stuff, and all that.
Yep.
But
I see that Tim Allen is going to be back on the TV. Last Man Standing was renewed here not too long ago.
Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, he's a great comic, or he was, but yeah, he's a great comic.
I've never seen much of Last Man Standing. My wife actually watched a little bit of it today, and she said that it would be worth watching. So
nice.
One of those. I think tomorrow's going to be a pretty easy day. It might be one of those binge watching days.
Well,
I'm
tomorrow,
lucky I don't get to go to church.
A Benfer C128. That was a Benfer 2000 blow. Is that the one that he rigged with the car engine or whatever it was? I can't remember.
Yeah, Benford is the fictitious tool company, kind of like Craftsman or Snap-on.
Okay. Yeah, that was a cool show, Home Improvement, back in the 90s. That and Everybody Loves Raymond.
I love that show, Home Improvement.
Yeah, it had its moments. It was good timing for that show. See, says Toss, you can pick up an Intel Core i5 system for that for 100 to 150. Really?
Yeah. Toss, let me put it to you this way. Let me turn my laptop here.
Come on.
You over here, man? I picked it up for 180 or less.
Yeah, but for what I don't render as much because it takes time with these outdated equipment. But really, for what I do with high definition and stuff, realistically, I'm probably not, unless I build it, but even then,
Right.
I'm probably looking close to 1,000 for a good high-end
Holy
desktop.
Nikes, man.
No, hey, that's actually on the, because my friend bought a gaming computer for his boy, and it was 2,000. Now I don't need a gaming computer, but you need the right graphics
the
card,
content creation, you're looking at $1,000 at most.
Yeah, well, for video, for like video
For
rendering,
and content creation, yeah.
For screencasting, you don't need it as like obviously this, but to record and render, yeah, you want the high end stuff.
Yeah, you want that stuff.
Or at least the middle to high end. But 1,000, maybe less if it's a refurb. You can go.
Part of this, I'm having a leave dinner.
Oh, go ahead, eat. Yeah.
Hey, did you bring enough for the rest of us, man?
Yeah, really, man. Look, if you're gonna show, here we go with the freaking food again on the channel.
Oh God, come on.
I
have enough to cook for everybody.
Okay, all right. Okay, maybe next time, Ben.
Maybe.
Wife and I went out to eat tonight real quick, and
if you were wondering what GUI that was on my USB over there, it's 4 on Gen 2.
Cool. Yeah. But well, tonight I'm recording off of. Well, let me just screen share for a little bit.
Yeah, let's see what this is.
Yeah.
I know you said it was Mint in the title. But
it is Linux Mint Mate. I think you guys should see it now, I believe. Yeah, it's Linux Mint Mate.
Cool.
18.3 with the latest updates. This is not my photo, but this is a
complaint I have, Toss, is your wallpaper doesn't stretch the whole screen.
Well, the thing is, this picture was someone posted on Facebook with their cell phone, and it wasn't widescreen to start with, so I don't want to stretch it. But this is a beautiful picture. I believe it's Italy of the Amalfi Coast, and I liked it so much I just downloaded it.
Yeah, that looks cool.
It's a really, really. I mean, how would you like to wake up in the morning there with your favorite person, spouse, eating that?
Oh my God, that breakfast! My
Speaking of food, isn't that really peaceful and nice and awesome? I mean, that is so romantic.
And you got waters on the table. Gee.
Yeah, look at the blue water. It looks like somebody took Sherwin-Williams paint and just painted that sucker blue. Isn't that beautiful?
Dude, shoot.
It's awesome. Yeah. Anyway.
It looks nice, relaxing.
Yes, it's beautiful. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, this is Mate, Linux Mint.
And the typical Mint menu and all that.
The advanced, So obviously the new one's coming out, I think, in July, around-ish. But I hadn't used this one in a while, so I had to run the updates. And anyway, it's running okay. So, but yeah, typical Mate.
Yeah.
Let me check my weather forecast. Thunderstorms, light chance, rainy thunderstorms.
We had chance of storms today. It never happened.
Yeah, we had 2 come by, and then they went away. So I went to Walmart, grabbed a few things, came back. The video stopped rendering on Caden Live. I just edited some stuff last night from our nice discussion on Linux / spyware and all that.
Time with it. Awesome.
Anyway, let me go back to this.
Yeah, the reason I left was because I was having a hard time following the shows.
That's okay, man. That's okay. I mean, the conversation's still good. I'm gonna split that long conversation we did about Linux and Ubuntu spyware in quotations.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it is. I'm gonna split it into 2 parts because it ran really long, which is fine. The first part will be up to the point when Michael comes on and he had trouble getting on.
And then we sort of went into a random ramble
from Tux Digital, and I said, "Well, I can read lips." He's saying Windows 10 is awesome as a joke.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
That's where I ended part 1. I rendered that, and then maybe tonight I'll render part 2. But it's good information. I want everybody to see that. Yeah. Everybody got a chance to speak their mind. So last night's stream was long as heck. It was over 3 hours.
Yeah.
But hey, people kept jumping on. Look, when people come jumping on, especially new people, I don't want to leave because it may. I think too was their first time, Tim, or something. So I want them to get to know us, not just me, but us. I'll stay as long as I'm not, falling asleep. As
long as you're not knocking out, yeah.
Right. But excuse me. Steven says it's beautiful. Yeah, that wallpaper is that picture is very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very nice picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
That was one thing I was able to do last night. Every time I coughed or sneezed,
yeah,
I think I was able to get to the mute button before I did it.
Well, when I sneeze, I'll hit mute, and I try to get to it, or I'll just do this. But still, yeah, I know.
It's polite to mute yourself when you have to do something like that.
Yeah, I have
I wasn't meaning to type while people were talking.
That's all right. That's all right. No problem.
Yeah, I was in the midst of a bunch of stuff in Star Wars. So,
okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Big Daddy Linux is live. So if you guys want to jump off, that's perfectly fine.
No,
I won't be on.
I'm not worried about it, boss.
I've
been on his show. I'd rather be here with you.
Okay, well, thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
But if nobody has checked out Big Daddy Linux, please do. Good stuff. He does it every Saturday night. Yeah.
Toss, do you need to jump off to grab him?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything specifically planned with Big Daddy, so I just jump on occasionally. But he stays on till like 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes. It's about as late as I do. 12:30, 1 o'clock.
He's a late night boy.
Yeah. Let's see. Had to hack Grub. Fun Linux. You had to hack Grub and Wi-Fi sound. Oh man. Doing a lot of hacking. Now watch. I'll get demonetized. Oh, he said hack, demonetized.
That's wow. YouTube really has gone bad these days.
Well, they had to make adjustments, but I knew something was up 2 years ago where a lot of this, let's just say, unfriendly channels were being allowed to spew their garbage, sometimes about politics, left wing versus right wing. It's not conducive to the common good. And these were popular channels making a lot of money, lots of subscribers, and I'm like, gee, that's not right. But hey, what do I know? And then boom, it hit. Then the AdSense apocalypse hit, but it didn't hit just them. It hit people like me, and I didn't deserve it. But anyway,
I have a poll I'd like to ask folks in the chat.
Please go ahead.
Who watched the royal wedding today?
Not me. I was too busy.
Yeah, really.
I was too busy. I was out at amusement parks riding roller coasters all day.
Well, no offense to anybody that is from Britain or Europe in any way, shape, or form, or fans of the British family. I know that it is just it's kind of an awesome undertaking or event so far as England is concerned.
Yeah.
And that's just great. C128D said there was a royal wedding.
Look, I wish the couple all the best. I know we make fun, and when it comes to marriage, I believe in the sanctity of marriage and a good marriage and raising the kids and all that in whatever place you live in. But let's not forget that there are people around the world suffering. People need help; they're not getting it. And for something like this, where they spend millions of dollars, here's something. The royal couple want to do something royal. How about forego the pomp and give that money to people that need it?
Yes, of course.
Starving families. How about give it to them and say, look, we appreciate all the attention. We'll have a nice wedding, but we're gonna take the money and just do the right thing. That's what I would do if I was royalty.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Crap.
Now I would watch it. Now you would get my attention because now I can relate.
My big question is I understand that the royal family, they act they act quite a bit as like ambassadors, so to say, goodwill ambassadors. All great and fine. Fully support that idea.
Yes, yeah.
But outside of that, what does the royal family really honestly do so far as running the country or adding any type of value in the governance of the country? I don't know that much about monarchies, so I can't remember my 9th grade civics class too well.
Yes,
but it seems like they make a lot of money and they go on a lot of trips.
What do they contribute to society? I mean, I really don't know. I'm not trying to be rude. I know what I contribute to the community. This is what I contribute, so I know what I do. What do they do? walking around with their fancy horses and this and that. I'm like, well, that's not going to fix potholes. That's not going to feed people. So, Galactic Squid is in the house. What a name!
What a name for YouTube.
Are you new to the channel? If you are, great. We have a customer. We must say hi to Galactic. That sounds like one of the Marvel movies, Galactic Squid versus Godzilla or something. That's awesome. It is your first time. Everybody, please say hello to Galactic Squid.
Hello, Galactic Squid.
Hello, Galactic Squid.
Somebody's got their speakers on. Is it you, Frostbite? I can hear in the background.
Then have your...
No problem. I'm sorry, trying to catch up to this. Welcome all. Father, this Messiah is in the house. How are you? I'm not royal, but royal weddings bring in a lot of money to small business all over by tourists, knickknacks, mementos. Okay.
See, a guy like me, if I went to England for the royal wedding, the only thing I'd come back with is a T-shirt that said, I went to the royal wedding and all I got was this damn T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's all I would have.
That's all I do.
About as much. C128D, about as much as Obama did. I must have missed something. Hi, Anna Rita. How are you? So, yeah, Galactic Squid is new in the house. See, that's why I do these at random times, to have new people come in and have an opportunity to say hello. If you have a Galactic Squid, do you use Linux? If you don't, that's okay. Just curious. Do you use just Windows or Mac or both? Welcome.
You know me, Toss. I multitask all the time.
Yes, you do.
I was gonna actually, speaking of Mint, I had every intention that I was gonna take a real easy day today, and I was gonna download Mint Cinnamon and put it on the machine that I'm on right now, my Ubuntu machine.
Yeah.
And last night after we ended the chat, I downloaded the ISO and said, okay, enough is enough. Got up this morning and I've been sitting here looking at the stick I burned last night, and I haven't even had the gumption to do that. So I don't know, maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
Well, yeah, it's when you're not in the frame of mind, you don't want to be testing technology, testing distros. I know.
I've installed Mint so many times I could probably do it. I could probably do it. Yeah, I could probably do it with one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. Quite honestly.
Okay. Okay. Scott is in the house. Scott Langgood. I think you've been here before. I think. If not, please let me know.
If you ever want to test those distros, it's best to use a virtual machine.
True. Yeah. If you have enough RAM, yes.
Yeah.
If you have enough RAM, yes, absolutely. Right now, I just create USB bootable sticks. It works.
Same. The base. Yes, I would ever give a virtual machine is just 1 gig, and that's about it.
Yeah, if you're gonna do virtual, you want at least 6 gigs, and that's probably 8, but you can do it with 6 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, especially on board though.
Yeah.
But
Jonathan Tobin, yeah, you made it to a live stream. If it's your first time, everybody please say hello to Jonathan Tobin.
Jonathan.
What's up? Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Jonathan. Glad you could make it.
Sire says, I know people who wake up at 3 a.m. here in the West Coast to watch the royal, who woke up at 3 a.m. here to watch the royal wedding. Jeez. He says, I do enough weddings, don't need a 3 a.m. start time. All right, I love it. Oh my. Good one, awesome. Father Sire. Welcome, welcome.
Somebody just made a comment on this. Oh, Steve Anderson made a comment, said,
yeah,
using gnome weather, I like it. Hey, this is Steve Anderson. One pointer, I'm kind of a weather nut. I just like seeing what the weather is and having kind of the information right in front of me. If you're using the gnome shell, jump on the extensions page, and there is one called Open Weather.
Yeah,
if you weren't aware of it.
Open Weather.
Okay. It's kind of nice that I think Gnome Weather puts the weather down in the date pull down with the calendar and whatnot. Gnome Weather throws it actually in the top bar. This is right at the clock.
Yeah.
Kind of neat extension. It's one of the three that I use. I'm down to 3 extensions on Gnome.
Heck, I've got so many to match a Macintosh. It's unreal.
So it's for the Dismiss Sayer. Got it.
Yeah.
First name's Ryan. Okay, welcome, sir. Welcome to the stream, and praise the Lord.
Actually, Dismiss would be correct. The integrated NVIDIA card setup is a bit hybrid, since it switches back and forth between normal workload and between gaming workload.
Steve Gunnick says to me, "How did you and the others on this stream meet?" Well, Ben was part of the with Spatry years ago. You would jump on for some news and nonsense, right? If I recall.
Yeah, I did once.
Yeah, and I think you were on his Saturday night streams. I can't remember.
I was on.
You were on a few, not too many, but a few.
On one, and then I was on the distros we don't like thing.
Okay.
And then I was on one news and nonsense episode, and then that was about it. And then he didn't let me back on after a while.
Real thing with hybrid cards, though, Mary and Dismiss, is that Linux has a problem between the two of them. So therefore, you have to turn off one video card for the other.
Yeah.
I mean, I've learned that the hard way with other people saying about it.
And then to answer your question, Steve, how we met, Tim, just a subscriber to the channel. I didn't know who he was, where he was from, and he kept coming in at on a regular basis saying hello. And here we are. This is part of the community. You know.
In my background, kind of is this for those asking for my background. I don't have the technical background as much as Toss or Ben or most of the others that Toss has on his channel. I'm more strictly simply a desktop user. Give me a distro, I'll install it. I don't dual boot anything. I don't use Windows.
Okay.
And I'll screw around with it for a couple of days, and if I like it, I'll keep it for a couple of weeks. But I migrate all the way back. I generally migrate back to Ubuntu or Linux Mint.
Yeah, you're like Toss. You're Mr. Ubuntu.
Well, it was my first love. My first date, with Linux was Ubuntu. Timo, welcome. But I started again. I mentioned it last night, but I try to keep an open mind about life in general. It isn't just technology, people, religions, politics, and all that. But I put people first, because without people, who cares about everything else, right?
Right.
But that being said, I was curious about Linux, like who created Linux, who does it, So in 06, I was running Windows XP, and I thought, well, let me try something called Ubuntu. Of course, back then I was saying Ubuntu, whatever. And I liked what I saw. Now, keep in mind, I was a newbie, complete newbie to Linux. But I thought Ubuntu had potential. Now, it's been all self-taught. Look, I live in Dean Martin country. This is not a Linux town. I mentioned Linux to some people, and that look in their faces like Arnold Schwarzenegger, blah, 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 but
they don't know what the heck you're talking about. Man.
Right, and I don't blame. It's just where we live. But I stuck with it over the years. I started 06. And then I went to Linux Mint, got a little bit easier. I went to Zorin, got a little bit easier. Then I fell in love with Ubuntu Unity until they were officially dropped from Ubuntu. Now I'm back to Linux Mint and Ubuntu Mate. But that's how I am here. It strictly started as a hobby. Hello, Omega. I didn't think I'd be on past 8 years, 2,000 videos. If somebody would have told me that back in 2000, I would have said forget about it,
Same.
But I'm here. I'm here. Thanks to you.
The only time I've ever experienced Ubuntu was a random hard drive that had it.
Okay.
and I just
Okay.
slapped it into my System X computer.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just couldn't get around its password. It was just
Uh-huh.
stuck there. So I
Yeah.
just slapped in a different
Yeah.
hard drive and just kept
Yeah.
on with XP.
I stuck with it. Almost 99% of it is self-taught as a Windows user, and I stuck it even though it was hard and I wasn't being paid to do it or nothing. But I stuck with it just to prove, to show to Windows users that if you have a little bit of patience, you can do it. You can try something that might be. I'm not saying you need to do what I do, as learn about kernels and a lot of terminal commands and dual booting. You don't have. That's not necessary.
Nah.
But you can certainly make a USB bootable stick and try without installing anything. And if you happen to have a spare machine or buy a spare machine, a ThinkPad's what I like. You can install and go from there. But I did it. See, back then, videos were like, it seemed like, Linux was the best, but it's only Linux users saying that. No, Windows is the best, but it's only Windows users saying that. I wanted a Windows user to say Linux is good or better or this, because then you create that atmosphere of trust.
Right,
because when I say it right, then the Windows user, oh, well, he uses Windows like me. Let me see what he has to say about Linux. And that's how I'm here. Now, I told the truth from what I saw. My favorite video, and I took it down because it was outdated, why Windows users can't switch to Linux. Based on this is with Windows 7. I had like 300 likes and 300 dislikes. You can guess. You can guess who thumbed up and thumbed down. But anyway.
I was looking at Steve Anderson's comment there that says, "I mention Linux or open source to my family. They look at me like, are you a commie?"
Sounds Russian. Linux comrade. Oh, like Linux or like Lenin.
Linux. Yeah, he mentions it to his family. They look
Comrade Linux.
Yeah, they look at him like, what are you, a commie?
Oh man. Hello, Charlie. Good day,
I feel
mate.
bad for his family.
Anyway, welcome, Charlie, to the stream. Great to have you here for this random Saturday evening. And before I forget, those of you who support the channel through PayPal, thank you. It is greatly appreciated. But yeah, tonight I grabbed the other desktop. Those of you joining in late, fired up the gateway has been off for a while. Did some updates. Want to make sure it's working. Not that I would have a reason to believe it wouldn't work. Fired it up and running Linux Mint tonight. For those of you who came in late, let me show you the wonderful wallpaper.
Ain't it a Gateway 2000?
Say again?
Is it a Gateway 2000?
No, I don't believe it is. Anyway, let me screen share. No, it's a Gateway. It's kind of dark here. Hang on a second. Let me run my light here. This originally had a Windows 8. Yeah, it's built-in Radeon 8400. It's outdated. I mean, it works. It is reliable. It can do rendering, but it's a dinosaur for that. Card reader. So I mean, look, I bought this, like I said, for less than $300 refurb. So I couldn't pass it up. Yeah.
It's kind of a rare thing to see compact computers anymore because their company's dead. I mean,
I don't
you
know.
can look at their website and it still has
Gateway is dead.
Yes.
Gateway is dead. Really? Oh, really?
Yes,
I
it's
didn't
owned
know.
by
Okay.
Acer.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
C128D asked a question. I think all of us have kind of hit this. I'm not sure if they were asking this to the chat. What was everybody's first Linux distro? Mine was Red Hat 3. Boy, that had to have been some time ago.
Ubuntu 6.
Mine was Ubuntu. I can't remember all of the numbers historically, but mine was the last GNOME 2 version of Ubuntu desktop, and I think it was about the time that they were trying to roll out Ubuntu Remix, I think it was called, and that was kind of the segue into them moving to the Unity desktop. And right now I run Ubuntu, plain stock Ubuntu, with the GNOME shell installed rather than the Ubuntu desktop.
Wasn't it Ubuntu 14.04?
Yeah.
Father Sayer, what do you use, or what do they use Linux in the church or Kingdom Hall or whatever? You do just out of curiosity, if I may ask. Daniel says Fedora 8. Wow. Okay.
Gregory
Fedora
is saying Slackware.
Slackware 1999. Gregory. Wow. Okay. All right. Plenty of old Dell and compacts in secondhand market, Charlie, especially the business. Well, okay. All right.
Few markets around selling computers.
Yeah, I have in my Lenovo, it's Ubuntu Mate, the newest one, and this Gateway Linux Mint Mate. Father Sayer says not really. Most use Apple for personal. Microsoft for work, Office. It makes sense, Father Sayer. You use Linux Mint. Hey, another thumbs up for Linux Mint. Which version of Linux Mint? Is it Mate or XFCE or? Cinnamon. I have Cinnamon on my other ThinkPad. It's nice. Yeah, Cinnamon a little bit more heavier. I noticed that laptop doesn't run as zippy as what I would like with Cinnamon, but it's stable. Everything works. And I got it to burn CDs on it. I fixed Brasero.
Gregory said you can't apply Exposer to Slackware.
Yeah.
Oh well, all I did was screw up a hard drive.
Gael says, anyone here is a sound engineer who works with audio software daily besides YouTubers. They tend to avoid Linux like the play. Yeah. Well, multimedia is still an up and down thing with Linux in general. I know it's not quite there where it should be. It's a hit and miss.
Yeah. Especially when you're using Audio City.
Yeah, it's a miss. But it's getting better. Charlie, you have LXQT going to VM. It's more lightweight. Yeah, somebody mentioned that. LXQT is more lightweight than XFCE, yes.
I've heard about that a little.
Cool. The lightest one I've tested is Lubuntu, and it flies.
Not sure how many Twitter users that there are out there, but I did see today that LXQT, the desktop, created a Twitter account today, and I followed.
I use
followed
Twitter,
them.
but I rarely ever look at it.
Like the other type of Linux distro I've tried was Remix OS before Jide unfortunately met their demise.
Yeah, Tim, if you want to know how dang technical I get, I've done Linux from scratch almost over 100 times.
Linux from scratch 100 times.
Wow.
Yes, maybe even more than that.
Wow.
That sounds like a penance, like when you go to confession, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Well, son, you will do Linux from scratch 100 times, 10 Hail Marys, 4 Our Fathers, God bless. That's, oh my God. Linux from scratch 100 times.
It said, I just crashed with the next patch of Windows 10, and I'm really tired of crashes. I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you.
I haven't had issues with Windows on 2 machines. I think I've had one blue screen of death in 8 years.
Oh, well, Toss, I'm on the latest Insider build, 17672. And I'm liking it. The only complaint that I have is every now and again my Ethernet and my wireless will drop. But all I have to do is just reconnect and I'm fine.
Yeah.
It could be just a wireless card that I don't like. I've had that problem with my Acer. And all I did was just replace it. It's the wireless card from my dead
laptop.
505.
Well, this laptop only supports an Intel Wi-Fi card natively from Dell. So
I've got a Realtek running in my laptop right now. And it's an old 10-year-old Acer Aspire for 59 and 20.
Okay.
Omega Beast needs to buy MX4 thermal grease for you. Oh, for the heatsink.
Heatsink.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. At worst, comes to worst, then I just use a USB Asus Wi-Fi dongle, and that works fine for me.
Father Sayer, that's a weird. You didn't have big issues with Win 10 until end up they removed all the keyboard, mouse, touchscreen input. It had a very pretty brick. Wow, that is odd.
And it's bricked to the wall.
So it was not you. What it was totally trashed, Father Say, or were you able to do something? That's bizarre. Yeah.
That's very bizarre. I think it was just one of those
I mean,
patches that pushed
the
out.
patch. So, but the computer had originally Windows, right, Father Sayer? It wasn't like a hacked version, or
I got a question for you guys.
Dodgy version of it.
Actually, question out of the chat. Naras Ali.
Yeah.
I hope I pronounced that right. Apologies if I got it wrong. Said they didn't like LXQT much. Have Toss or Ben, have you guys played around with LXQT very much?
I don't believe I have. No.
There's no KBs for the BIOS. The BIOS comes directly from manufacturer.
No, I haven't. Haven't messed with it. Yeah.
I might have to play around with it for.
Okay. I've played with it on Gen 2 once, and I will say that desktop is a pain in the neck to think. I'm not gonna lie. It was, and I'm a tinkerer, I like to make things look pretty. And I love the black and purple stuff because, I have astigmatism in my eye on top of the autism thing. And I also, I have astigmatism and a light problem, so I have to have dark themes. I have to have dark themes. So I tried to apply my XFC black and purple theme that Matthew Moore made me, okay? And he included some kick-ass wallpapers, blah, blah, blah. So basically, I tried to apply a black and purple theme whatsoever to that, if it wasn't the one Matthew Moore helped me with. But problem was, the problem is that when I applied that XFC theme that he made, it didn't work very well. So that was kind of an incentive killer for me with LXQT. Was that it was a pain in the neck to theme, and I didn't like the way the desktop laid out. So yeah.
So Father Sayer, you were the first to have that problem. You checked the forums. Could HP help you out with replace the machine or give you credit or something?
At worst comes Father Sayer. You may just want to call tech support and ask them what to do.
Yeah.
Go on, call them up, chat them, whatever you got to do. I mean,
if it's under the 1-year warranty, obviously they'll take care of it.
Yeah, but
after
if it's
that, that's up to them. That's up to the vendor.
That's up to them. Yeah.
You're probably stuck, but look, it doesn't hurt to call. So
it doesn't hurt to try. I mean,
if I can give,
that is the weirdest case I've ever heard for Windows 10.
What brand is his computer?
What bricked his computer was one of those patches at Microsoft.
And the restore partition didn't work either. Wow. Do you reboot from the BIOS? Tim, you had something to say? Yeah, go ahead.
I've said their names before on the channel before, Carmine and Micro Center. Father, if you have a Micro Center close to you, their tech support. I've actually called there before. They're careful about answering a lot of stuff on the phone because liability. They don't want to steer you down the wrong path. And they're not machine specific, but they do a very, very good job if you bring the machine in. They'll work on things that you have not bought from them. Unlike
those guys really like to help people.
Okay, I'm sorry. So the restore partition works. Sorry, Father, I read it wrong. Okay, cool. That's nice to have that nice backup.
But you might want to have to make a disk to be on the safe side. Just a blank disk, that'll be your safe bet. Because after that recovery partition's used, it's used. You can't use it again.
What brand is his machine?
It's a HP all-in-one.
HP, okay, yeah. Usually they're good about fixing stuff, so
yeah.
Text 13 says tech support will tell them to make a Linux USB then fix Windows then reboot. Yeah. Yes, I'm sure Microsoft says that all the time. Yeah.
If I was on the telephone, that's what I would recommend.
Yeah.
And what to say
he said restore partition fixed it. Unfortunately, Micro Center is like 6 hours from his house. Oh,
Okay, okay.
oh God.
This is why I
That's
like TeamViewer, because you can just be right there. Or,
well, it's
Yes.
too
or
bad he
anything.
can't use that from within a recovery menu.
True.
I'm looking at the ticker. There's a headline: Smart luggage firms close because of airline battery rules. Yeah. You know, the smart with the built-in battery to recharge. There's a problem with those heating up on planes and catching fire. You would think somebody at the startup company would have said, "Wait a minute, what about the batteries possibly catching fire?" But that's really dumb,
Or
in my opinion. But
How did they
or
even
thermal
start?
runaway on those batteries.
How did they
yeah,
even start up?
yeah.
I mean, the whole secondary battery and charging station stuff.
I mean,
All of that stuff has happened since, when unfortunately 9/11 happened. How did a company think that they were going to be able to even even have a viable product? Oh,
you would
wow.
think these people, I'm assuming they had venture capitalists. I think they call it, but they invest
Yep.
money. You would think they would ask questions. I really don't know, Tim. I mean, but that's so obvious. I mean, if it was 20, 30 years ago, it's a different ball game. But
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Toss.
Yeah.
My buddy Dylan from Indiana is coming over to my house tomorrow, so I gotta drop.
okay, man. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Enjoy. Cool.
I've heard about smart luggages. Some of them you could even ride.
Yeah, I saw that. But nowadays, airlines are so strict, not just on security, but batteries, lithium can catch fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gregory
That's
says, "Do you see a car that
burned.
burned for 50 years?" Is that what you're trying to say? I'm not sure what's going on, Gregory. Father said, "I never figured out how smart luggage would ever pass muster." Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody do gaming on Linux? If so, what version? I do a little Super Tux Kart, simple stuff because I don't have a gaming computer. Scott, anybody else here do gaming?
I usually play a few Steam games like Gmod.
Okay,
And I'm using 17.10.1.
okay.
Zero gaming on my side. I'll play a card game or something here or there to pass some time, but any
Okay.
gaming, I don't invest the time.
Okay.
I know for me, I would get. In fact, I watched DistroTube had a video about Zero AD, a live stream the other day, and I was watching that, and it looked like a really, really cool game. And I know the minute I put it on something, I would sit here and I would be playing it, and nothing else would get done. So, yep.
It is addicting, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll play Super Tux Kart. I think I did an airline or flight simulator in Linux. One other game. I mean, they're okay, but again, I don't have it. You know, the frame rate isn't what it's not as smooth. So I don't. Again, these are not gaming computers. Fun Linux laptop. Are you at Sangre de Cristo Mountains? Blood of Christ Mountains, if my translation is correct. Sangre de Cristo. Oh, is that a game? Sangre de Cristo. Blood of Christ, I think. Charlie gave gaming a go on Linux for 2 months, but gave up. R9 3X drivers are crap under. Yeah. Here we go with the multimedia again. Yeah. Yeah, I usually play games either in Windows. I mentioned
Charlie,
Asphalt 8 Airborne.
There are some private drivers out there or on the manufacturing side, but you have to do that from the update section and go to additional drivers.
Let me just a quick announce the next Ubuntu podcast is up. If you haven't already, check it out. It's number 11 for this season. Let's see here. They discuss Mark has been reconstructing his bathroom. Okay? Martin Wimpress from Ubuntu Mate has reorganized his office and going wireless. Okay? They talk about Streamlink app coming to iOS. Microsoft announcement, Google announcement, some other stuff. Yeah, check out the very fun to listen to Ubuntu podcast.
Charlie, this mentioned that the Atari Box VCS was available for pre-sale. You know, I was thinking about this, and my wife and I have talked about it before. And the last gaming console that I played to any degree was an Intellivision. Toss, are you old? You're old enough to remember Intellivision.
That rings a bell.
It didn't have a regular joystick. The controller on the bottom had a disc that you moved, kind of similar to some remote controls on some TVs. Yep.
Kind of like the Magnavox Odyssey.
Not familiar with it, but it could be.
I remember my first gaming thing was an Atari gaming console, playing those Space Invader games and stuff like that. You know, it was cool. This is before, obviously, Xbox and PlayStations. I switched here out to my screen share. Those of you joining in late, here's a nice picture from Facebook that somebody posted from Italy. Enjoy. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that Atari. I don't know if it broke or I gave it away or something. But that had the joystick controller. Sure, yeah, absolutely.
This was saying Intellivision with the voice, right?
What was that?
Intellivision first with voice. I don't remember. Yeah.
See, when all of these gaming consoles started to come out, by that time I already had my own computer, and that would have been about 1981 or 82, and it was a Texas Instruments TI 994A.
Okay.
And that had on startup, it had regular basic programming language, and you could buy cartridges to put into it for multiple different things, word processing programs, stuff like that, as well as games. And that's actually where I began gaming, and I didn't use a joystick. I gamed via the keyboard on the 10 or 12 games that I had.
Omega Beast, it's fairly easy to install a power supply if you've watched Linus Tech Tips.
Yeah. I remember those early games on my first PC. I think it was a Packard Bell. I don't think they are around.
Nah, they're no longer.
Yeah. And I remember I only had like 4 megabytes of RAM. I had to bump it up to 8 to do gaming or something. But yeah, I mean, well, you know, this is 97, 98, something like that.
Sure.
So I remember I think it was my first Need for Speed game, right? You know, racing game, cops and all that. So I'm running over everything, having fun. Cop cars destroyed left and right. Finally, I get caught by the cop. The cop comes out of the car. One of the dumbest things in the game. There's like 6 cop cars destroyed. So the cop comes over. And he says, "You're lucky I'm in a good mood. I'm only going to give you a warning this time after all these cars are destroyed." It's just stupid, but
it
made me laugh. But yeah, those were cool early. But I always liked Need for Speed. When my son was little, I exposed it to him. He enjoyed playing it. Need for Speed, yeah, the 3DX Voodoo card, yeah. Charlie. My favorite Need for Speed, probably Hot Pursuit, if you guys know that. And Most Wanted.
Most Wanted was my thing.
Yeah.
I had cops mad at that game.
Hot Pursuit was okay, yeah.
Scott Langford said that his first computer was or not his first one possibly, but he used to have a TSR 80.
Wow.
I kind of vaguely remember
Radio
that.
Shack, yeah.
Yep. And then he said he had a Commodore 64.
Okay.
Boy, those were the hot thing to have. In fact,
Sure.
you know, I think they had like the Amiga or something like that, and there was a company, and it was a few years ago. They actually owned the rights to be able to reproduce the case and the look, and it was an all-in-one, just like the original Commodore was.
Okay.
And they had I think it was like something like Commodore Linux or something like that, but it was a Linux distribution.
Yeah.
that they had put on it and they were going to sell it with, but I think they ran out of money.
Yeah, gaming has come a long way. I mean, it's obviously a change in the 90s with the advent of computers in every household, and of course it really exploded, probably after the 2000s.
Especially after the Tandy 300s.
But yeah, those early days, man, I'm like, oh, I got to get 8 megabytes of RAM. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Turned to 16 megabits.
Yeah, but those were fun days. I remember staying up till past midnight. Like, what am I? This is like time flies when you're having fun. I still have a Star Trek PC game, Star Trek Starfleet Command. I still have that. Well, that was actually a cool game, like a role-playing game that was okay. But those were the early days, all on discs, multi-discs. So,
First PC I had, I think was a compact, and I want to say it had 256 RAM, and I can't remember the size of the hard drive. It wasn't big. It was.
Did you also have like a Yamaha XYZ50 in it?
I don't know.
Because mine did. And it was on board.
I wonder if new users who use like what I use, like Linux Mint or Ubuntu Mate or something else that's easy, like maybe like Peppermint. I wonder if they install those for gaming, or just not necessarily, but just to try something new to see if it works. And maybe gaming is the last thing on my mind. I got to tell you, with Linux, for me, with running Mint and the others, gaming was the last thing. I wanted to see if it actually worked.
Been tricked with Linux.
Steve says the first was an IBM 186 with DOS. Okay.
Which version of DOS?
I don't know.
Because some versions of DOS actually had Windows 3.1 or 2 back in the day.
Yeah.
Sometimes all you would have to do is just type in Win and they'll go.
For me, the gaming universe changed when I played my first Halo game, 2005. I didn't have an Xbox at all or a PlayStation, nothing like that. I was on PC. So the first Halo game, I believe, was on PC also. And I'm playing it. Yeah, and I'm playing it with my boy. And we had a blast. It was fun memories. But I didn't have a gaming PC then either. So obviously, I must have had the resolutions too high, because those of you who have played Halo, you're fighting like aliens, different kinds of aliens and stuff. And anyway, as I'm shooting and these aliens are coming after me, when I shot the machine gun, instead of it was like tut 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 tut. That was the machine gun. And when the aliens would jump at me, like instead of like this, they were like ballet, jumping at me slow. It was so ridiculous.
Were they choppy as they were jumping?
Yeah, well, yeah, right. So when they would go, like instead of like this, I would go slow motion ballet. It was so stupid. So I dropped down the resolutions, and as low as I could, and got the game to play. Obviously, single core machine gaming is not the way to go, but I got better machines, put in a graphics card, and then I told my son, "This is how you play it." Oh, okay, Daddy, and it was a lot more fun to watch and play. But that changed gaming for me. Halo, really redesigned or rewrote the first-person shooter game, how a game should be played. So hats off to Microsoft.
Then there was pretty much Doom as well.
Yeah, but I know lately with the Halos, 343, a company called 343 Industries took over. They kind of botched it, Halo, a little bit. But Halo was the game that changed. I said, wow, this looks like a movie, or like it plays like a movie, with the music and the soundtrack. And it changed my perception of games as just being games. That's when I thought that that's when I thought that games can become movies, and I happen to be right,
Very much.
Yeah, so. Doom 1 and Quake. I don't know if I played Quake, Charlie.
Quake did end up killing one brand of CPUs, I heard.
Okay. I don't remember.
It was actually called the Quake CPU.
The last Doom game for the Xbox, not the remake, 3 was really good. I had my son play it. Probably should not have for kids,
Not
but
kidding.
he would play it, like
I
this
figured.
close to he would like to be closer to the screen with the controller. All of a sudden, these doors open and this beast comes out. He was like, he could just back off like this. Anyway,
I think my
fun,
first R-rated game
fun,
was
fun times.
uh,
I remember playing Halo, the first one, and the aliens, the elites. If you guys play Halo, you know what I mean. But sometimes I would do overkill on the weapons. Like instead of, he would be like, the elite would be like in the game close to me. And I could knock him out with the machine gun, but I would get the rocket launcher. I would just do overkill, blast them, and then the dialogue, like I would hear. Next thing I hear is "Wah!" I almost fell off my chair, man.
I
Funny,
think the
funny,
only
yeah.
M-rated game that I've ever had during my childhood was Duke Nukem 0 Hour.
Okay.
I was just shooting aliens out everywhere that I found them, and it
Well,
was
with
just
Halo,
pretty much fun.
you could turn on a little, not awards, I forget what they're called, but like you could turn on what was called extra dialogue or like unusual dialogue. Like when you have the little munchkin aliens, they would walk up and say, "I'm a lean, mean fighting machine," or stuff like
We
that.
didn't have that in Duke Nukem
Yeah.
0 Hour.
Yeah, but that's where Halo really was more enjoyable,
Yeah, but when I was listening to the audio with some of those aliens,
Yeah.
they could distinguish out a few words or so. And that was about it.
Yeah, that's a good memories with Halos. Halo, especially Halo 2, the dialogue was, oh God, it's so funny, so funny. We would lose. Me and my son will play, and I'm losing my Marines, and then one of the aliens says, "Let me add your body to the pile, human." Just again, just random dialogue they recorded that would just kick in as you played it, and that added value to the $60 game. Halo 3 was the same way. Just the stupid dialogue just out of left field. I would jump in kamikaze, and my partner would say, "You ain't gonna make it," stuff like that. So anyway, who's the guy wearing the white T-shirt here on the chat? The white T-shirt. Oh, that's Tim.
That's Tim.
Yeah.
I'm all dressed in black.
Yep.
But you don't see that. Yeah, because I don't have the camera.
Gregory, you remember me telling Spatch about playing with my son? Yes, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if my son still plays it or not, but anyway, yeah, we had. I remember when I got Halo 3 when it first came out, and his mom says, "Well, take him to the football game. He likes to go to the football game." It was a Friday night. This is a football town, so my son's playing and he's getting into it. "Michael, do you want to go to the game?" "No," as he's shooting, But anyway, fun time. So Microsoft, thank you for Halo. At least you got that right.
Yeah.
And you should have made a freaking movie about Halo. You botched it, for Christ's sake.
There was a few Halo-related movies on
Yeah, but not like a Hollywood. I guess $200 million wasn't enough for Microsoft to make a Halo movie. For frack's sake, Microsoft, really? You wanted it all?
You tried, but you failed in the end.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
the
they
heck?
made little movies here and there, which were the last one was okay. It was shot in Canada for a low budget of $10 million. But a movie like that, you can't do much with $10 million.
No.
But they did okay. It was a short movie, but you really need close to $100 million for a Marvel type game like that, But I guess Microsoft wanted more money and this and the profits. It was totally from what I read, it was totally unreasonable. And Microsoft, you botched it. You really did, because now you ticked off Halo fans like that.
Not to mention
Instead, we get these other games these movies that are stupid, like Assassin's Creed. Anyway, I don't want to go there, but yeah.
Yeah. Before anything though, Rareware was very good with video games before Microsoft took over. I mean, you had good games like Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
Conker's Bad Fur Day, a lot of those things. Then later on, after Microsoft took over, it's just like, where did it go? Where did all the fun games go from
Right.
where?
Father Sayer says if they can make a movie about Battleship, they can make a movie about Halo. I totally
Pretty much.
Battleship. I enjoyed it. It wasn't that great of a movie story, but it was fun to watch. It was fun.
Yeah.
You're right. If they can make Battleship a movie, and they can't do Halo, a proper Halo, it's greed. It's just that's all I can. It's pure greed.
I know. I mean, it's pretty much making MasterChef look like
Yeah.
nothingness.
I mean, there's a
Sorry.
worldwide built-in audience for Halo.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the books. All the soundtracks are good. Well, most of them.
Yeah.
The guy who made the soundtrack for Halo, the original. Shoot, I was going to say Martin, but that's Ubuntu Mate. Oh crap! Marty. It's Marty.
Marty.
Something like that. But anyway, he did the Flintstones theme. We're the Flintstones, kid, da 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 da, and growing. He wrote that.
Yeah.
But he was according to an interview, he says this was in 2000. He says that he did a soundtrack for a game called Myst. I think I can't remember, but he was somewhat well known out west in Seattle for this gift of music for games. So he says I was approached by Microsoft to introduce Halo to the world. He was like, ooh, some kind of grandiose. This is before the Xbox came out. So he says, I'm driving in the car, and I guess he had played the game, seen the game without the soundtrack. No music, nothing. I still don't know how they do it, but God bless them. Anyway, he says, I'm driving the car, he says, and this vision of monks or this music came into my head. Oh, it just came to him. So he says, I think he said he went straight home and started writing the soundtrack to Halo. Of course, the rest is history.
Yeah, especially
marvelous.
With the first out of the war.
Yeah.
Where
It just
games
everything
beautiful
clicked.
music.
And the soundtrack to Halo Reach, I think, is magnificent. If you haven't heard it, it truly is majestic and all that. Yeah, that was probably the last great Halo game, 2010. Yeah. Anyway.
Those all played God of War anyway, so because
I haven't played that.
It's been a good game. I've seen a few people on their channels play it.
Tim says the Minnesota, the land of 100,000 potholes. I think we got you beat in Ohio, Tim. I don't know.
That's been a joke in Minnesota with the infrastructure spending in the state. Our license plates.
Yeah.
The bottom of it says, I think, 10,000 lakes, and that's a state motto. Land of 10,000 lakes.
Yes. Yeah.
Just as bad.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of mosquitoes, and there are about 100,000 potholes.
Wow. Well, here are the potholes. I tell my friends I need an airbag for my butt, not on the steering wheel. But
Steve just added in two seasons. Winter construction.
You've got that's one for Steve. Let me get my pen. I'm going to keep track of these jokes. I got my pen. That's one for Steve. Okay, good one.
Yep, Steve, you get the crack of the day award there, buddy. That is
the construction.
100% true here. 100% true.
They took the Yamato out of the ocean, flew into space. Really? And remember Star Raiders battleship? Yeah. No, I don't remember that one. They took it out of the ocean, flew into space. Wow, that's quite imagination. Okay. Australia doesn't have seasons either. It's hot or bearable. Understood, Charlie. I guess you could say that for Florida. But in the wintertime, it's nice. It cools off in the wintertime. It's not bad down there in Florida. It's really, it is quite bearable.
That's one thing I can say. Minnesota has, as anywhere you could live, has pluses and minuses. And no offense to anybody that's from Australia, but going to a country where I can walk out in my backyard and step on a bug the size of a penny and have that thing render me dead inside of like 14 seconds flat. Really scary to me. Really scary.
Yeah, it pretty much is scary.
It is.
Father Sayer
Beautiful
says
country.
earthquakes,
country.
fires, and mudslides, not weather. California. California is beautiful. San Diego, Palm Springs. I've been in the summertime. It's so hot though in the summer.
Portugal,
Monterey, California. Absolutely gorgeous, stunning.
Doesn't
Yeah.
San Diego have some of the most consistent
Yes,
weather
70, average
in the
78 degrees. Yes.
I have to agree.
Yes.
The older computers was a lot more fun to work on.
You know, the
All
one thing I noticed
Australia.
talking about working on computers,
Yeah.
I noticed the machine that I've got right now, my newest HP laptop, there aren't any access ports on the bottom of it. Let me look at the bottom here once.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
There's no access ports, and to
No
take
access screws?
no access. Well, access ports meaning small covers to be able to get to like
Okay.
the memory and say the hard drive. There are 6 or 8. I couldn't count them. I didn't want to turn my computer completely upside down. There's 6 or 8 screws to take the entire bottom case of the
Yeah, most
SEO.
of newer computers lately, it's just one big slab to open up. I guess that's just for manufacturing cost plus
Yeah.
the easeability to upgrade hardware.
I wonder if some of the computer makers have kind of gotten to the point where, and you know, maybe this is kind of getting to the point in desktops too, but kind of to the point that, you know what, buy the computer, use it with what it's got, and the average person is going to look at it and say, oh, I'm not going to take the entire bottom of this thing apart. God knows what I'll get into once I pop it off.
Right.
Run it with what it's got, and then when you figure out that it's too slow because you're going to play, Shoot the Moon or whatever the video game of the day is, and the thing bogs down, you think, well, you know, it doesn't look like I can service this thing, so maybe I'll just go out and get a new computer.
That's what normal users do, but for the gamer side, it's like, there's some upgradability path there.
Looking at the system monitor here, I'm using 2.7 gigs. I guess it's not too bad considering all that I'm doing here. CPU is about right. Not bad. Again, this is Linux Mint Mate, a lightweight desktop.
Why did it jump in and grab a half a gig of your swap?
Oh, this machine only has 4 gigs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it had 6, but I took the one chip and swapped them out with the Lenovo because I was using that one for a while more than this. But I mean, you know what? With the low RAM, it still works. It's smooth. So yeah, I'm not complaining. You know, I think this will do maximum 8 gigs of RAM, if I'm not mistaken.
The same here on mine.
Yeah, like I said, these are super reliable machines, so I keep them. I mean, they're not the right machine to do what I do, but they are reliable. So you know.
CPU usage is pretty good too.
Mine maxed out, but my memory is like 1.9 gigs used. Swap is 506 megs. And that's about it. But the CPU is just like an old
this Gateway does
file.
gaming pretty smooth, you know, for a non-gaming rig, as it were. But like I said, this was less. I think I paid $278 refurb for this. I couldn't pass it up. I just
can't pass up a good hand-me-down as well.
Yeah, right. So you know, it's one of those things. But I am due for an upgrade machine when I can.
Same.
Turn on ZRAM, Charlie. I've tried ZRAM before. It really hasn't. I didn't notice anything.
Me neither. I've tried RAM managers and they're just garbage.
Yeah, you know, maybe there might be something incremental, Charlie. But honestly, if you want better, fast, just either add RAM or just buy the proper machine. That's all there is to it.
Right.
It's kind of like saying, well, I got a 4-cylinder car, but I can jerry-rig it to make 6-cylinder. No, it ain't going to happen. No.
Ain't going to happen. But the lightest distro I've ever seen for Linux was damn small Linux.
Yes, I do remember that. DSL, yeah. Yep.
You know,
the
I'm
only
looking
problem with it is just, if it's not the Debian version, you can't really expand on it.
I've got I'm looking at my resources. I have an 8-core i5, and I've
Okay.
got 8 gig of memory on this.
Okay.
My processors, all 8 of them are hovering between 15 and topping out close to 30.
Not bad. Yeah.
35. I just saw 35.
Yeah.
And I've got Chrome open, nothing other than Chrome and the chat open, and the video going, and I'm using 3.4 gig of memory. You gotta love GNOME Shell.
Yeah.
Actually,
It
you know what?
works. It works,
does-
but
it
it
does.
does suck the RAM. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
And then-
philosophy
well,
is from a desktop environment is if I've got the RAM
Mm-hmm.
and I find a desktop environment I like, as long as I've got the RAM and I can get my work done, I really don't give a rat's rear end what it's taking resource
Because it works. It just
Because
works.
I'll have to
yeah.
agree a little on Sayer though. Crypto miners are shooting up GPU
Yeah.
prices up, but now it's going back
Yeah.
down, stabilizing. Now what they're doing now is hard drive mining instead of GPU mining.
Hmm. I wonder if there's an add-on for Firefox or Chrome to block that specifically. I have to look.
There is. Opera's already doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Built
Yeah, there's
in.
Switch to Linux recommended or possibly talked about one that you can use, and I actually had it on, and it I never came across anything where it blocked or gave me an alert whatsoever.
Same
I don't
here.
have I haven't put it on since I put Ubuntu on this machine, but yeah,
It is
there
actually
are-
possible that there is hard drive mining out there. Linus Tech Tips did cover it before on his channel.
how would you use a hard drive
That's
mine?
I don't know.
I have no
Charlie
idea.
says sounds like BS. Honestly, I really don't
sounds
know.
like
That's a
they're
little,
using
yeah.
free space for mining.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a whole nother world
Because
for,
of
for me.
hashing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All it is hashing from the hard drive.
don't
It's
know.
free space or whatever.
I guess there's more people out there slicker than I am, But
Greg Lockless said, I'm currently running WaterFox with several tabs up and Chromium for the chat, I'm guessing, Greg. And he's using 2.82 gigs of RAM. Greg, I'm sure you've said it a bunch of times. What distro and desktop environment are you running?
Fox is more of the 64-bit version of Firefox. Palmoon's more like low-end Firefox.
One of the WaterFoxes is very good.
I've tested WaterFox. It's not bad. It's not
I have-
bad.
Yeah,
I just for the last
I've had an Escape before, and it's good as well.
for the
First
last.
try
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go right ahead.
The only first engine browser I've ever used was LunaFox, and that's the only one that's out there that does that. Switches from Trident, Gecko, and Safari's.
Gregory, I do like Linux Mint XFC. I have that on one of my less powered ThinkPads. Pale Moon I've tried. It I think it was a little bit smoother than standard Firefox. I can't remember, Charlie. But I do remember that I like what I saw in general. Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't used Firefox much at all. I've kind of gravitated towards Chromium more than anything.
Yeah.
Open source wise, or Chrome. I think on this
Yeah.
this
I
machine
don't-
I've got Chrome.
I
and
don't
Chrome.
distro hop anymore. I'm more web browser hop, as it were, because I don't have to go to the process of installing whatever. But even that I'll do. I use pretty much. I'm stuck to. Oh, not stuck, but I use 3: Firefox, Chrome, and/or Chromium, and that's it. I don't use Opera as much. Pale Moon, Brave. I kind of after a while I'm like, I'm good with what I had. It's more out of curiosity that I tested the others.
I used to use Opera back way prior to the whole split from, you know, the Opera. Some of them, I think they kind of split off, and some of those developers started Vivaldi. I think it's kind of how it happened.
Vivaldi's nice too, yeah.
But there was, I think, one of the last versions of Opera prior to the whole Vivaldi thing evolving. Opera had email integration built right into the web browser, and it wasn't webmail. It was actually email integration right in the browser. And I thought that was just the slickest thing ever. That was better than sliced bread to me. I loved it. But even now, Opera, as they've evolved from that after the split of folks, their browser no longer has that functionality. So if anybody in the chat knows of a good web browser that has integrated email access, not webmail access, please, by all means.
There was also a Maxlon. I don't know if they ever done that or not.
I've never heard that. For my email primarily, I use Gmail for everything, and I use a piece of software called Wavebox. And I think you can do it for free, and it gives you access to one Google account. I actually paid for it, so I have, you know, I can put in as many unlimited Gmail accounts, but it integrates Gmail, I think Outlook.com, whatever Microsoft's thing is, and a few others. And I really like that, but I really liked it when Opera had the email integration. That was really neat.
Father Sayer says, what would be the smallest, sleekest browser? I know a small one would be Midori. I don't know if it's been updated in a while, but you can try Midori, Midori browser. Try that. That's pretty sleek. Yeah.
I've tried Midori, and all it would do was just crash and crash.
Really? Yeah, it might be a while since it was updated. I mean, Chromium's fairly light. Chrome is fast. Vivaldi seems fast. Let me take a look here.
Was a little fast as well, since they have their own ad blocker built in.
Yeah.
What's the standard? I think the standard web browser in Elementary, is that Epiphany?
Might be.
I think. Well, Elementary sometimes will pull things in, like their default mail is Pantheon mail, but it is it's a rework of Geary.
Okay.
And I think their web browser, I'm not sure if they call it Epiphany.
I think it was
the OS
Geary as well.
Anna Rita just said yes. It is.
You can try also Cubzilla, which I think is rebranded to Falcon browser, Falcon.
She was saying her email Thunderbird is great. I've got Thunderbird, and I rarely use it, though.
You know, my only problem with Thunderbird, and I think that a lot of people, for a long time, they didn't know if it was going to be continually developed, because it kind of dropped, but then people kind of picked up the baton and kept running with it. Yeah. For me, if this running
picked up that baton and just gone with it.
Yep. For me, it's the user interface. This kind of seems like it's a little bit old. This seems like it's a little bit tired, but it works. And in my case, if I was to use something, it would be Thunderbird. It's been around forever. They do have a good number of extensions, so you can integrate calendars and contacts and everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Mozilla did pretty much make it after all.
Yep.
I use Thunderbird. It seems I only use it pretty much for the I have a GMX email account that's tied into my PayPal. So when somebody pledges a donation support, that always goes straight to Thunderbird, so I catch it. It's because I want to reply to each person personally to say thank you. That's pretty much all I use Thunderbird for. It seems reliable, fast, lightweight. I don't have a problem with it. I don't use that in Windows, or on my phone, but I use it in Linux because it works and it's convenient for the for the PayPal account. So anyway,
also a good newsreader as well.
Thunderbird is.
Yeah, I've had it.
okay, yeah. I use the Ticker app, as you all know. It's simple, fast, and it works. TICKR for those of you who are interested. But
I wonder if that would work on the GNOME shell.
It
the
should.
Ticker app, it should.
Toss, is that in the repositories?
Yes, it's on the Synaptic. It should be there. Try it. Yeah, I didn't test it on the Ubuntu, my test machine Ticker. Don't recall. Try it if you have. Yeah, try it.
Sudo apt-get install ticker.
Yeah, or try sudo. Right.
Let's do a quick test.
Okie dokie.
People here are going to learn more by accident than elsewhere by design.
Welcome to Testing Live.
TICKR.
Right. Testing Live with the sick person from Minnesota.
Here she is. Let's go ahead and hit apply in good old Synaptic. Boom, boom, boom. And she is installed. You know, the one thing, since I've gotten this HP, the value of having an SSD in a machine to me is one of those things that is going to be first on the list.
Really?
Yeah. I cannot complain about the speed of it whatsoever. Ticker
server, Scott.
Ticker works?
Well, I've got a little screen here. It says Ticker first run, no configuration.
Right, that's normal. That's normal,
Okay.
yeah.
Would you like to set up a few parameters first? Let's say forward, Y position. Let's do it on the. Let's actually do it on the bottom. Okay. Actually, let's change that. We'll go to top.
Yeah, sometimes on my live events when I do the screen share or an OBS, I'll have that running. So if something catches my eye, we can talk about it. I'm not going to do it too much tonight. I won't stay on too much longer. It's going on midnight. But yeah, it's a great little app, lightweight. It's in the Windows too, and it just works. So we have one person here that uses Linux Mint Mate, I think. Was one anybody else using the Mate desktop per Mint?
I've tried the Razer desktop, the Razer 8 desktop, and it's pretty good.
I've always liked, there's something about the Mint menu I fell in love with from the beginning, and I still use it. It's just, it's so unique, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, nowadays you got a lot more choices, but I just like it. Yeah, it's simple,
there's
it
a
looks
lot
good.
of desktop
Yeah.
environments to choose from. Especially
For new users, Scott, I'd probably go with Mate over Cinnamon. And it might be a little bit easier, actually, yes, in my opinion.
Would you look at that?
Nice.
Oh, I should have.
There are pre-installed RSS feeds that you can tick on or off or add your own, but it's really a nice little app, Tim, yeah.
You know, here's something very interesting. It's running just fine on GNOME Shell.
Nice.
When I installed it, I went to another workspace and installed it. And on GNOME Shell, it appears as though whatever workspace you started on, it is only on that workspace.
Okay.
It's not on every workspace.
Yeah. Okay. I'd say that's probably normal. I'd guess.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, play with it. I think you'll like it. It's great to catch up on the quick, not just for live events, but just to turn it on and catch up a quick news feed here and there.
Yep.
At nighttime or in the morning, I'll just ask Alexa for the news. It's just faster than, okay, let me get up, turn on my computer now. I'm just gonna, hey Alexa, daily news, and it just goes into its rhythm. So.
Toss, I think you might have accidentally triggered someone's Alexa device.
Oh, sorry.
That can happen.
Sorry, Alexa, Chuck Norris jokes.
Alexa, order me a pizza.
Oh Lord.
Chuck Norris once got hit by a train. Nobody on the train survived. Ha put him up.
Wonder how many Alexas just went off and they're trying to order.
Yeah, really. They're like, Toss, shut up.
I bet people are just raging about that right now.
Anna Rita, this said a little further back in the comments, she said she wasn't a fan, or they weren't a fan of Elementary OS, but love their applications. I actually
Elementary looks
noticed.
fantastic. Yeah.
I actually noticed that if with Mint 18.3, if you go into the software center, they have the flat packs. There are a number of elementary apps that come from the developers that tend to stick with elementary. There's a number of elementary apps in the flat packs.
Cool. It is 11:47, so I'm going to wrap this up here in 5 minutes. Tim, we can stay on and chat a little bit when I stop the stream. But yeah, it's another 5 minutes, and we'll wrap this up for this evening. Any last-minute comments, questions on Linux Mint, or anything in general? I want to thank everybody for stopping by tonight. All the new people who stopped to say hello, thank you. You can support this channel through PayPal primarily. I no longer use Patreon. Of course, you can try the Amazon affiliate links. I've got some recommendations posted there, but primarily to pledge support on this channel, just use PayPal. And I only use that now because it's worldwide, it's secure, I trust it, and there's nothing political about it. I guess last year there was some left-wing versus right-wing stuff on Patreon. I don't get into that, so anyway, just to let you know. So
Actually,
I'm gonna probably have to sign off right away too, Toss.
okay.
My
All right.
voice is just about done.
Got
I'll
it.
email
Okay.
you tomorrow and we'll catch up early in the week.
Sounds good. Yeah. You got that link from before, right? I think it
I did.
works.
I did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Random.
We can talk about that tomorrow if you want to. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't have Alexa. Didn't it have a weird random laughing issue? There was something going on. Yeah.
There was some kind of weird issue with it going on where it would just mistakenly, you hear the phrase is where it do a laugh, and it would just automatically
For like a
laughing.
random laugh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think an update did it, fixed it or something.
Yeah,
that would be freaky if you just say something. Go, ah. I'm like, hey. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I mean, at least they did fix the issue, so
Yeah.
props on
Yeah.
them.
All right. So, it looks
Good
like we're good
timing.
for this evening.
I'm about 20 seconds away from a coughing spell.
Go ahead, do it. This is the friendly channel. All are welcome, including coughers. Coughers? Oh man! But anyway, yeah, this was my Linux Mint Mate live for this evening. Checking out my gateway, make sure everything works after all the updates. Works fine. Again, the beauty about Linux, you can resurrect older machines or semi-old machine. This only has 4 gigs of RAM. That's not a lot, but it's sufficient to do this. Again, I wouldn't use something like this to render videos 24-hour shift, but it works. So, and if you have an older machine with a gig of RAM or less, Peppermint OS works with less than a gig. I proved it, and I
There's
streamed
also an
with
OS.
less than a gig. I took the chance of making a fool out of myself, but it worked.
Right.
So Linux is terrific. So yeah, I'll probably go to bed early tonight. What I'll probably do tomorrow, the part 1 of the Linux spyware in quotations from last night has finished rendering. I'll upload that, and then the part 2 will be the one where Tux Digital comes in after he got his mic issues fixed, and he had some good it was a very good, open, heavy debatable conversation about the Ubuntu telemetry and data, but I'm glad we did it because it cleared up a lot of things. I personally feel safe and secure private using Ubuntu and Linux than I do in Windows.
Yeah.
But I think it's a conversation that needs to be told so people understand what the heck is going on. And no, I don't believe Linux is spyware or Ubuntu spyware. I do not.
Yeah, there was one, but no.
I think Michael's problem was he didn't shake his Etch-a-Sketch before he got on. That's why he had
Yeah, I
sound
know.
problems.
Well, no, he was playing around with something browser that's not compatible with Hangouts. That's what it was. I was laughing at Kubuntu, but he knows Kubuntu inside and out, I think.
Yeah.
Now, once he got rid of the browser, went to Chromium or Chrome at work. So, but I made
Yeah,
fun because he was talking, and I said, "Well, I can lip sync." He's saying Windows 10 is awesome. Great, Michael. I was just kidding, but
So Michael did have a good few points. There was one
yeah.
distro that was doing with spying, and that was just horrible.
Okay. Yeah, he's I think he contributes to Kubuntu, but yeah, he explained it all what exactly is going on, and I asked him, Michael, do you think there would be a threshold where you will no longer use it? Sure, of course he would say something, but right now, and I believe him, it's not as bad as people think. There is the potential to abuse it, of course,
Yeah.
but I don't have a problem with Ubuntu Mutamate or any other OS, Linux OS that gives me the option to turn it on or off. I
Yeah.
don't have a problem. I think it's fine for now. Now things change. Obviously, someone somewhere, myself or somebody else, will say something and say, "Hey, what's going on?" I don't see that now. I really don't. So there's my answer. But you can watch this tomorrow. So
I think good people do good things, and I think as a whole,
Yeah.
the open source community is a good community. There are
this is an open source community here.
Yep.
I'm not saying Microsoft doesn't have a good community or Mac. I'm not saying that.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I should try them. I really haven't. Maybe it's to be fair, but I enjoy doing this. So, you know.
Well,
All right, I'm going to wrap this up now. Thank you everyone in the chat. Great having you here. Check out this upload or the one I just rendered. I'll just upload it tomorrow. I'm going to go to bed soon. It's called Linux spyware in quotations, meaning Linux spyware discussion. I'm not saying it is spyware. Just want to be clear. But I'll make note of that below in the show notes and explain it all. But that'll be part 1, and then part 2 will be coming up later. All right, I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you, everyone.
I'll email you tomorrow, Carmine.
Sounds good. Sounds good, Tim. Okay, thank you, Tim.
Take care, brother.
Thank you, Frostbite.
Take care, guys.
All right, I'll catch you later. Ciao. Bye-bye.
No problem.